Hi, this is Andy McWayne. Yeah, this is a video I've wanted to make for a while, and it's a big topic for me, and it's something I'm really excited about. And if you've had a conversation with me anytime in the last 6 months, you'll know it's something that I've been thinking about a lot and giving a lot of time and energy to. So this is essentially an introduction to indie publishing, specifically for musicians. I think there's a indie publishing revolution going on, an independent publishing revolution underway, and I think it's kind of happening right under our noses. And what I'd like to do is dive right in and show you some opportunity and a little bit of how it works on the largest publishing platform right now, which is Amazon. So you're probably familiar with the Amazon Kindle, which is the e-reader, but now it's actually so much bigger than that platform, because you don't actually need a Kindle to read these ebooks. You can read them on iOS devices like iPhones and iPads, and obviously they also have a Mac and a PC app, and they have an Android app. So ebooks are definitely becoming more universal, and this is obviously only one of several stores online. You can buy ebooks from Google Play and from Barnes & Noble and from Apple, but I wanted to start here just so that you maybe get an idea, first of all, how big this opportunity is, and then maybe to inspire you to maybe start writing a book of your own. So the easiest way to jump right into it is to go right to Kindle and go right to the Kindle bookstore, and then what you see is here's a landing page for it's showing me books related to what I just viewed. So although I'm not signed into my account, I did that on purpose so that it won't show pricing a specific way, but I'll explain that in a little bit. But what you're seeing is Kindle Deals, and you get an idea that there's this massive landing page related to Kindle, because although Amazon's not entirely forthright about how big of a portion of their profits come from this, it's definitely a growing segment. So what I generally like to do is click on Bestsellers and jump right into this category, and then onto a page like this. And as you can see, these are updated hourly. We're already in ebooks. Look at all the categories here on the left: arts, photography, biographies, business, computers, foreign languages, mystery, nonfiction, technical, romance books, teen, young adult. Massive numbers of books already available on Amazon. What's interesting is, although we're still inside the Kindle store, a number of these books only exist in digital format. They're not actually both digital and a paperback. But that's specifically what we're looking at. I want to look primarily at the ebook market right now. Over here, Amazon, this category, because this orange is highlighted, this is showing us the bestsellers, the entire Amazon.com, meaning U.S. ebook store. So this book is number one in all of Amazon, and as you can see, The Girl on the Train, it's a novel by Paula Hawkins. It already has 13,000 reviews, which is unbelievable. And it's number one in all of Amazon. What that actually means, and I'm going to show you this. Here's a website by an author, and this is extrapolated both from I think from her own work, and then also from what other people have been sharing. That bestseller rank. Let me show you how that works. If we go to this book, The Girl on the Train, you can see it's published by Penguin, which is not independently published. That's one of the big That's one of the big 5, 6 traditional publishers. It's a full-length book. It's also available in hardcover and other formats, audiobook. It's a $7 ebook, but it's a $15 hardcover. If you scroll down on, and it's a New York Times bestseller. If you scroll down on the page, Amazon's detail page, and this is epic because they have a lot of reviews, you can see this book is #1 in the entire Kindle store. This book is #1 in contemporary fiction literary. This book is #1 in suspense. And this book is #1 in women's fiction psychological. And it's probably ranking in a number of other categories. To give you an idea what that means, if your book is ranking in the entire Kindle store #1, you could be selling 3,000 books a day. Again, these are rough numbers. This is an estimate. This is Teresa Reagan's site. There are a number of people that try to extrapolate what that sales rank means, because it's not like Amazon is going to tell us, and it's not like Penguin is going to tell us, but you get the idea. I mean, and in a world with 7 billion people, when something's a hit, and it's a hit for, a day, a week, a month, several months, these numbers are pretty incredible. So even in the example that she uses here on her site, ranking 758 in here, that a book like that could still be moving 100 copies a day, which is like literally insane. I've had nowhere near that many sales. But you're talking about millions of books available in the ebook store, and even getting to the place where you can rank under 100,000 is a book a day, or 30 copies a month, or more. So yeah, but I'll come back to that. So here's Girl on the Train, back to that, and then back to the bestseller list. So this is how this is interesting. Now let's drill down into music. So music is actually under the arts and photography category, and then, as you can see, performing arts and architecture. So if we go into the music, the list of bestsellers in music ebooks, now we'll add a little bit more detail to what we were talking about. So not only will Amazon show me the top 100 paid books, they'll also show me the top 100 books that are being given away for free. This is actually really useful if you're thinking about writing ebooks. What you can do on a pretty regular basis is find books like this that have 200 reviews, or even a book like this that's come out recently that has 6 reviews that seems to be well regarded, 4.5 stars. A book like this you can download. You can get it for free because it's on a free promotion right now. You can grab a copy that easily. It's 36 pages. It's part of a series, and you can use it as a way of doing a little market research. One person's not happy, and then other people are relatively happy. So that's always interesting to watch which books are free. And the other thing that's interesting about this is that because Amazon allows you, if you become a KDP Select, which is Kindle Digital Publishing, if you actually join a select program of Amazon when you publish your ebook, meaning you'll just publish it on Amazon first. You won't go to Apple and Google and all the other platforms, Barnes & Noble, but you'll just publish it here. They have some extra tools and some other things that they allow you to do, including these free promotions, 5 days of free promotions every 90 days. And then this little program here, the Kindle Unlimited, which is essentially like a library card. A number of people who love reading ebooks, they love having one Kindle and walking around with 10, 20, 30 books and going to the beach or going to work and on the train or whatever. It's a great way to read a lot of material and not have to carry 10 hardcover books with you. A number of people on Amazon subscribe to Kindle Unlimited, they pay about $10 a month, and they can borrow, I think it's up to a dozen books at a time. And if they read more than 10% of your book, then you get paid a borrow rate. It's not the same as the royalty, it's a little bit less, but it's a way of getting paid for people to actually sort of just check out your book. That may, customers who may or may not have actually purchased it. So that's sort of interesting too, and I'll come back to that. So as you can see, Kindle Store, Kindle eBooks, Arts, Photography, Music. If I want to back up, I can actually just choose. I can actually choose the category in there, and then that shows me business. That shows me business, history, criticism, instrument performers, genres, recording, sound, songbooks, theory, composition, and performance. It shows me all the subcategories inside music. And the interesting thing is, of all of these books, you can see here, these are the number of books that are available to borrow. We have that program. I pay $10 a month to be able to borrow a number of books. I find it actually really useful. I use it for research. I use it for my own reading for enjoyment and whatnot. So buyers on Amazon can literally just click this button, and then all the other books will not show up. They could literally, filter the results, by choosing that one button. So you're seeing there's 91,000 books in the music category on Kindle. And if we go by publication date, what you'll see is there are even books. This is kind of ridiculous. There are a number of books that are on pre-order. Some of the major publishers let them throw the book way out into the future. This is more realistic. So here's a book about Timbaland. It's coming out. HarperCollins Publishers, one of the major publishers. This book is coming out in, I think it said, right here. Book's coming out in November, but the book is already available for sale for pre-order in either Kindle or hardcover edition. This is something also that Amazon has allowed indie publishers to do. It's to put a book up to 90 days out on the horizon. So here are a number of books that'll be coming out in the next several months that you can pre-order. The other way you can sort this list, which is equally interesting, is new and popular, allowing you, even though it's not super new, let's dig into another one of these books to get an idea. Again, this is another major publisher, Random House. This book is from 2011. Billie Holiday obviously just had her 100th birthday anniversary, so it's one of the reasons why this book is probably ranking right now, even though it's from a few years ago. It's ranked #1 in jazz, #1 in ethnic and national biographies and memoirs, and then #1 in genre jazz. So composer musicians jazz and in genre jazz. So 1576 paid. So if we go in here, that book could be somewhere in this category, maybe 70 to 100 copies a day, which is unbelievable in the best possible sense. For a musician, most of us already have our recordings on Amazon. We have MP3s. Maybe we might even have CDs. Some of you might have LPs or other promotional items. Obviously, the benefit of being on Amazon is that it's this massive platform. So if you decide to publish, you know that your book is on. Your book is for sale in 13 countries, pretty much within, 24 to 48 hours from the moment that you hit publish. There's an ebook available in several countries, and the royalty the royalty split is really, really interesting. So this is, if you're interested in actually signing up with Amazon to at least even learn a little bit more of how this works, you could go to kdp.amazon.com. I won't log into my account because not only will you see the 2 books I have out and the book that I have on pre-order, but we also have a number of other books out under pen names that I wrote since last summer. So if I don't log in, I don't have to try to blank those out after. So, but as you can see, look, Amazon actually gives indie authors, indie publishers, 70% royalty on sales in the U.S., Canada, UK, Germany, India, and et cetera, et cetera. 70%, meaning if you sell a book for $2.99 to $9.99 in that range, basically about $3 to about $10, you'll make 70% royalties on that. So at the low end, that's $2 a book, and at the high end, that's $7 a book. Compare that to traditional publishing, which you'd have to be probably Stephen King to get maybe 20, 25, 30% royalties on a on a book. So that's pretty interesting. Obviously, we won't have the number of sales at the level of Stephen King, but it's still pretty interesting. If you want to charge more than $10 for your book or less than $3, then Amazon actually will actually pay you a 35% royalty, and that's partly because they know that they won't sell as many books in those ranges. But if you want to put out an ebook and it's really valuable and you want to charge up to $200 for that book, they will give you a 35% royalty, which means each time somebody comes along and buys a $200 ebook, they will send you $70. But what they're telling you is if you actually priced that book at the maximum of $9.99, you'll probably sell a lot more copies. And at $9.99 with a 70% royalty, you'd only have to sell 10 copies to make that same $70. So I mean, they're basically incentivizing us to price in the range that they know that works. So let me go to Kindle. Let me go back to the Kindle store. And now this is where Amazon's search bar up here becomes really interesting, because if you want to write a book on a particular category, if you start typing, Amazon will actually help you find. They will actually help you fill in the rest. So as you can see, I put in jazz practice. Here's my book. Again, for reference, I just wanted to show you. Let's just talk about this real quick. So it's 90 pages. It's it's quote unquote in a series, although I haven't written anything else in the series, and I'm not sure that I will. It's been a lot of work just to create this. You can see right now it's ranking number 6 in jazz, number 10 in techniques, and then those are ebooks. And then although it's only an ebook, it's also cross-ranking in the book category for jazz. And it's only been out since Christmas Eve, but it has a review. This is what's really interesting. This is how Amazon actually helps us when we write these books. Notice here, if I want to buy this, I can buy it, but I can also, like I said, I can borrow it if I'm in this Kindle Unlimited program. I obviously won't get the same royalty if people do borrow it instead of buying it. But there's a couple things. So first is these categories, these ranks. So here are the bestsellers in jazz music. As you can see, here's my book next to Herbie's autobiography, which is really interesting. Another Billie Holiday book, and then the real book itself. So this is always a really interesting way for me to do research, to see what else is ranking and see what other book ideas are suggested to me when I look at this, but then also realizing maybe what other books just don't exist yet. I look through, I read I try to read some of the books in the same categories that I'm interested in. I try to grab a number of the free books maybe in my category. There are actually no bestseller free books available right now, so that's kind of interesting. Meaning, if I put one of my books, if I made my book available for free, it would probably be number one. It would instantly rank. And then the hot new releases, the top rated. I obviously don't have enough reviews, to get into the top rated category. And when it was a hot new release, it would show up over here, and that's obviously useful because if you're looking in this category and you're wondering which books are new, you could actually go over here and see these are the new books that have appeared or will appear pretty soon, which is kind of interesting. This book's actually not even out yet, but it's already showing up, and it's a very short list. It will show as many as 100, and then obviously what you see is they switched hot new releases and bestsellers to over here. So if I want to go to bestsellers, it just switches it back. But look at all these categories. This happens to be a jazz book, a book about jazz practice ideas with your real book. But if it wasn't a jazz book and I wanted to write in any of these other categories, if I wanted to see what books are actually working in punk music right now, what books in opera, there's a lot of possibility, and there are a lot of readers out there, and it's 7 billion people in the world. I'm not saying they're all on Amazon or Amazon's partner platforms around the world, but I think you get the idea, and again, the numbers we were talking about before, I'll share with you, last month, the jazz book that we were just looking at, between sales and paid borrows, I moved 61 copies, and it's only ebook, so 61 copies last month, and then today's the 19th of the month, and it's already sold or paid borrows 57 copies this month. So on track to do 2 or 3 a day on average, since the book's been out. I don't know that that's typical. I don't know if it could actually go higher once a paperback is available, because then the book just looks more finalized and finished. So I hope I've inspired you at least a little bit to look around in here. I mean, we were looking in genres, but if you look in performance, if you look under theory, composition, and performance, look at how big this category is. Music appreciation, composition, conducting, exercises, instruction, study, and maybe in a later video I've actually shown you how to add some of those things. I do have an indie publishing video that shows you how to choose some of the keywords and the categories to get your books to rank here. I will add more to this series so that if you are interested in publishing on Amazon, that you have an idea of exactly how to go about it. But you could start by writing the book in Word. You can start by having an idea of what the cover needs to be, and literally that's it. And then at some point you need a high-res cover, and then you need the Word file or the interior of the book formatted correctly for Amazon, which is, personally, I use a program called Scrivener to write, and I actually use that program to convert the writing into Mobi files, which is what Amazon reads and uses for their Kindle books. But there are a number of other solutions to that problem. But a number of the books are actually relatively short, and like I said, I think there's a lot of opportunity here. Partly because of the borrow program, like worldwide, I'm starting to see more borrows of our books in the catalog. Like I said, books I've written, and then also books that are that I wrote with a pen name. I'm starting to see more borrows overseas, in Spain and Italy, in the UK and Germany, Brazil. But in general, And I was just looking at this the other day. Of the 13 countries that Amazon sells books in, or at least has platforms in, obviously they sell books worldwide, because if you don't have a store Amazon store near you, you can obviously just go on Amazon.com and buy these books. But I've sold books in 11 of those countries. And this is literally since, last summer. No, not last spring. Last summer, I started this. So let me show you one other thing that's really interesting. And again, like I said, Amazon's helping us when we do this to actually make this work. So if I go back to genre, and I go back to jazz. So there's another thing I wanted to show you with these books. So, not only do they show you the ranking, and does the ranking help, if you're at that ranking and you're looking in the category, you'll stumble on my books. If you are looking inside of a different category, you'll actually sort of work your way back. That's really interesting. Obviously, the review process is about having social proof. But this process is also really amazing. Customers who bought this item, meaning my book, also bought these books, which works both ways. Obviously, a number of these books I own. But this isn't me doing this. This means that someone bought the Jazz Theory book, the great Mark Levine's, that massive spiral-bound textbook, magical book. Someone bought that, and who also, in turn, at some point, bought my book, which is pretty amazing. But it's more about the other direction. So if I'm on their page, here's the Barry Finnerty Serious Jazz Practice book, which is really interesting. If I'm on his page and I just bought his book and I like it, which I actually don't own this book, but it looks really amazing. And I was just leaving a review, and I thought, that's fantastic. And I want to see, people who bought that, I wonder what else they bought. And then there's my book right there. So that's one of the ways that Amazon is actually helping create little communities with inside the book and the readers and connected and related interests. So if you understand what I mean, I think if it was literally just this landing page and that was it, and you either buy the book or not, then people would actually maybe leave. And I think because Amazon does everything they can possibly, obviously it benefits them. What do customers do after viewing this item? Well, some of them buy it, some of them actually buy these other things, So if you're going to buy this book instead, Amazon's trying to keep you not only inside books, but they're also trying to keep you on Amazon itself, If you say, I'm thinking about buying this book, you might actually think it's distracting for them to show other books. But it's not, because this is also social proof, saying, okay, someone who bought this book from Shure Music is also buying these things. And it's 20 pages, so I'm not saying that, that there are, countless sales that come from that. But obviously, the more sales and the more inroads that come to your book, the better chance it has to actually rank and find buyers. So I think that's kind of an interesting process. For the way they've set it up is actually genius in terms of the algorithm. They know, make it really easy to buy it, make it easy to borrow it, and then eventually when it's paperback and ebook, they'll show it together. And then, if you want to get it instantly, you can grab it instantly. If you want to, read it later. So we kind of have all these things working for us. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is they also let you create an author page on Amazon, and even follow that author page if you want. And then any and all books that and these are my books. These two are live. This is Make Money Online with Your Music, basically what we're talking about right now. And then this is a book that I'm finishing up now. It's on pre-order. It should come out by the end of June, early July. But again, they're doing the same thing. They allow you to put all your books in one spot. They allow you to put up a bio, maybe even show some links to websites. And then they do this social proof again too. Customers also bought items by these people, which is really extraordinary if you think like, I get a kick out of this one, that people who bought my book also bought Herbie Hancock, which is pretty amazing. And again, this is let's look at the Kindle version because we're trying to understand sales rank and all that. So this came out last fall. It's a Herbie Hancock memoir. Lots of reviews. It's 76,000 in the Kindle store. So that's in that same range of about a book a day right now. Here it is. But he's ranking in 3 categories, and again, getting people buying it because they found it in the songbooks category, getting people buying it because they found it in the jazz category. But it's really interesting because as you dig around in some of these books, what you'll find is that they're not all legacy publishers. I guess we keep finding a number of books that are, but they're not all legacy publishers, and they're not all 300 pages long. A lot of the books that are here, like let's look at books released in the last 30. So these are supposedly music books, or that have music as a keyword, released in the last 30 days. Awakening the Music Industry in the Digital Age. Let's take a look at this. Whoa, 500 pages. Okay, so that's a pretty big book. 500 pages Kindle. Wow. So, and it might show you other categories. It might inspire you. This is really interesting too. But all right, well, I don't want to keep going too far down different rabbit holes. But I wanted to inspire you to take a look around. You could literally go on Kindle, see some of the books that are for sale, some of the books that are ranking. Grab the Kindle app for your tablet, smartphone, or Mac PC if you don't have it, and then just actually start looking. Grab some of the free books and read those and kind of get an idea what kind of books are being published independently, and which maybe kind of look at what kind of books that readers seem to like. So as always, if you want to get in touch with me, the easiest way is to visit theandymcwayne.com, join us in our Facebook group for music resources, and I'll talk to you soon. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below, and please subscribe to this channel. All right, thanks.